What up, Houston Rockets fans? It's been a minute. Uh, Season has been eh, eh,
Eh, eh.
The schedule doesn't help either of the multiple games of teams that we see over and over again. But we are
Like
still, yeah,
it's like not great basketball all the
yes,
time, but it's like somebody's always doing something wrong. So it's like, who do we blame? Like it seems like every day somebody's doing something to piss me off and then piss you off, and then but the only person catching slugs is Jalen.
yes. Every fan I've talked to on the internet, every fan I've talked to at the gym, every fan I've talked to on my Facebook, on our Facebook, Jalen Green's the problem. It's Jalen Green's fault. Even when he's on the bench, it's Jalen Green's fault. He should have done more. He should have done better. No praise for the dude on the last game. Congrats, Jalen. That was
The
some
whole
beautiful.
game's against Phoenix. Like he's a big game player for some reason. Like he does good. You know what I mean? Like he has bad games too, but you expect that. But it's like he's not the only one who's having bad games. Like when was the last time Dylan Brooks did good?
I can't remember. He don't even look like himself. He's
He
looking
wastes
like
possessions on offense. He seems a little bit disinterested on defense. Why don't we hold him accountable? Like when the Houston can't get their shit together. Like VanVleet, we pay you $50 million, bro. Like it's your responsibility to write that shit.
and I guess from me on from my understanding of talking to way too many people about it, they're like, "Oh, well, Jalen Green's supposed to be that guy. He's supposed to be the superstar, so he has to be the leader of the ship." But it's like we have to understand also the same way you put Shingun in this because they seem to either love Jalen Green or they hate Jalen Green and love Shingun. There's no like it's never both. And like us two out of the very few are probably the ones that are like, hey, we like them both, but they both need shit to work on. Like we're gonna be critiquing them all. But it comes down to like the fact that when it comes to like the Green haters, they want him to be like, oh, he needs to be like SGA. He needs to be like this guy or that guy.
I don't want him to be like nobody. Just do you. Be productive, bro.
Yeah, he
And my thing is if you take the expectation of him trying to be Luca and just be like, look, just objectively look at him play and be like, can this dude, should he be a starter in this league? Yes. Can he help the team in any way? Yes. Just leave him fuck alone until
he
his value becomes more as a trade asset than a player because you're not going to get nothing for him right now anyway.
Ime literally said it. He was like, "This dude does stuff that nobody else on the team does." Raphael Stone said it, and Raphael don't have no any like loyalty to anybody. He don't care. He'll trade anybody on the damn team. And he was like, he does stuff that nobody else has on the team. And we like that. He goes, there's stuff he needs to do better. He goes, but all of them need to do better. He goes, there is not one player on our team right now that is at the threshold of what we believe they can be at or where they should be at. And I think one part of it is when you get the players like, all right, for instance, like, oh, Nikola, Luca, Shaq
Mm-hmm.
recently talking about Shingun. Oh, he needs to get away from the Rockets. Oh, he's going to be a superstar. I mean, Jalen gets praise. He worked out with Kevin Durant. He worked out with Devin Booker. He worked out with a lot of superstars also. And I'm not trying to shoot a stray slug at Shingun because he doesn't deserve it, but the fans that back him, you deserve it. You
Yes.
deserve it for putting unwanted BS on him. Like all the BS that this team has literally is from fans arguing about the dumbest things that don't even matter.
Because I was a fan of Sengun until people started shitting on Jalen, and then it's like now you're gonna make me nitpick Sengun to the point where I don't like him now,
Yes.
right? Don't it
And
feel
that's
that
where
way?
I'm at. That's where I'm at 100% because it's like, dude, he does great. I like him. I want him to stay on my team. But if you come to me and are like, hey, he needs to get out of here because he's getting being wasted, bye. Bye. I'm gonna give you the same energy I showed with the Astros and the Texans. Bye.
Being wait, but I don't understand what people mean by that, like being wasted. Like how, like if anybody suggests that Alperen Sengun can carry a team like Joker did, you're a fucking idiot. Like Sengun's good, Joker's
Yeah.
great. Like that's a different level player. You know what I mean? I watch every possession Sengun does, and I can tell you his decision making is not close to where it needs to be to do what Joker does. Granted, he's a lot younger, but I still don't think that he could be Joker. My point is like I'm not gonna hold my the if I was like Stone, I'm not holding the franchise up believing your ceiling's that high.
Yeah.
Because as a Rockets fan, I look at Sengun and I really feel like you're about closer to your ceiling that people realize. Like I don't think you're actually gonna get much better than what you are.
Yeah. And I mean, if he stays where he's at, that's really good. That is very, very good. But I feel like the line that fans come up with for Shingun is way up here, like, oh, you're the face of the NBA. And it's like temper that down a bit. And then
Mm-hmm.
the opinion they have for Jalen is way down here. It's like, oh, he doesn't even belong in the league. What are you talking
Yeah, that's
about?
crazy
Like
shit.
bring they're about the same right here. There's games where Shingun's on the bench and nobody says nothing. There's games where Jalen's on the bench. There's games where Jabari's on the bench. Amin, Cam, Fred, Dillon, Ime will literally put your ass on the bench if you ain't doing what he wants you to do. And it's
And
funny because we see it. Jalen Shingun, they're like this. They back each other up all over social media. They're always talking with each other. They're always hanging out with each other, but somehow the fans have made them Biggie and Tupac type shit. Like they hate each other.
it's so funny to me because like we watch a lot of Rockets games. When you see Jalen sitting on the bench in the fourth quarter, they're like, "Why is Jalen on the bench?" Oh, because the motherfucker was like 2 for 16 through 2.5 quarters. Like he needs to be on the bench. You know what I mean? And then you see Sengun on the bench. Like, why is he on the bench in the fourth quarter? It's like, bruh, because they put him in the action on defense 10 times in a row and scored all. Like his ass needs to play defense. So I don't know why as fans we are surprised why the fuck they we hate each player. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you really think about it, neither one of them got better at their weaknesses. You still can't play defense. You're inefficient. So it's like deal with it.
And that's I think where you and me come in to like let's be realistic here. Like you want to point the finger, we'll point the finger at both of them. You both have stuff to work out, but I will defend both of you equally because you both had to deal with all the bullshit from those years. Sengun said it. This is probably the best head coach I've had ever. Jalen's talked about how Ime's pushed him. Ime gets in his head, tells him, "Hey, go out. Remember that dude took your job." Like you can tell how much they've changed. And I think as Rockets fans, if we realize that,
Mm-hmm.
you'll like the Rockets where they're at right now a bit more instead of nitpicking the dumbest stuff that you don't need to nitpick because it's like you had two guys that needed veterans, Christian Wood terrible, John Wall terrible, all these bums over here trying to stay in the NBA worrying about themselves. And then you had no offense, Steven Silas, you weren't meant for the to be a head coach. That you kind of just let the players do whatever they wanted to do. It was just terrible from the top down. I mean, nobody showed these young guys how to be in the league. I mean, Shingun coming from Turkey, Jalen literally coming from the G League. It's a totally different shift. It's one of those things where it's like you didn't sign up for it, we didn't sign up for it,
But
but we're
that's
here.
why I'm so critical. That's why when we started this, I was critical of Dillon Brooks and Fred VanVleet. It's like, because y'all were brought in to get rid of this bullshit. Like, I know it's the coach's job too, but like, if you guys are not excelling in your role, being Brooks and VanVleet, then I feel like you're wasting my time because I can see Ime putting together good combinations and rotations of the young boys. Like, I like Sengun and Amin Thompson and Cam on the floor together. That shit is fun to me.
Beautiful. It's
And then they'll
beautiful.
throw Jabari or somebody in there. It's like those are good rotations, and it would go a long way to have Dillon Brooks and Van Vliet do a little bit more.
And I think that's where the as fans we brought veterans here for a reason, but we're not holding them accountable, which is weird
Mm-hmm.
because we knew why Jeff Green was here. Uncle Jeff was here to bring some stability to that locker room, bring the knowledge of this and that, and he's done that. But now, Fred, I mean, I get it. You were injured a bit, bro, but hey, you're back. Welcome back. I need you to be the point guard that we paid for, the starting point guard that is going to lead this team. Because there's some times where you don't set up Jalen Green well, you don't set up any of the players well. That's your job. Dillon Brooks, where's the dog from? I get it. I get it. You probably got a letter from the NBA saying, hey, temper that shit down. He may probably say, hey, we need you. You know, one of your goons is out for the year, and Tari, so that kind of hurts.
Tari's just, that sucks to me because y'all should have did this a long time ago with him missing the whole year. You know, I'm not a
Yeah,
big fan of that. Um, so that makes me feel like the either medical or somebody dropped the ball on that.
yeah, somebody
But I
did.
also see I expect to see a, a minutes increase for like Cam and the men. Because if we, I'm telling you, bro, if we get to the point where we're pretty sure we're not going to make the play-in tournament, I want to see the rotation condensed down and give more minutes to the guys. You know what I mean? I want to see Amin and Cam on the floor more. I want to see Jabari on the floor more. I want to see Jalen on the floor more. Probably not Sengun, and not because I'm hating, because he could probably use a break a little bit more than the rest of those guys.
He started
Because
off the season
well,
40
yeah, and
plus
his
minutes,
usage
and
rate, like we run a
yeah,
lot of offense through him, so
yeah.
like I would give him a little like, or maybe keep him around the same.
Yeah, I mean he's young, but it's also you look like you said his usage rate. He's one of the top leaders in assist on the team, so you know his usage is up there. Um, Probably one of those things where like you want to go, all right, we'll keep it here. But it's also one of those things too where it's like we've talked about those rotations, like you said, Amin, Cam, Shingun, the Jalen Cam stuff. Like there's these certain things like Jabari fitting into those because he's been quietly doing his own thing and nobody's talking about it either. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, dude literally showed OKC like I mean we lost, but he went out there and was like, I'm gonna show them why you should have drafted me.
Yep.
Uh, Type games, and that's what you want to see. So
It just pisses me off, and I say pissed off, but I take notice to it, and I don't like it. How like we as fans critique like Jalen and the men, and you can kind of see in the game that they're trying. Like, oh, we shit on Sengun for this for the whole week, like as a fan base, and you can see him trying. It's like, okay, I see you, but now you're fucking the game up because like them other guys are just playing basketball, and you have like Jabari going the fuck off, Amin getting all the rebounds. He's like, all right, bro, just play basketball instead of trying to prove a point. That's my thing. That's why I'm sick of this fucking argument. Maybe we just hear it a lot.
I think well, I thought that too, but I'm thinking from what I've read on the internet, I've gathered it all up on different posts and everything, and I wanted to wait because the Jalen Green against Phoenix game, quiet,
Mm-hmm.
quiet. He dunked on homeboy and said, "I'm back." He got in a little scuffle with Bradley Bill. Nobody said nothing. Nobody said, "Hey, good to see you." Nobody. The top people that do the Rockets also, like the other podcasts, all those guys, they were like, "Hey, this is the Jalen Green that we know is there. This is the Jalen Green that we know is inside of him." Dude's 20, just turned 22. Like I don't know what most of us were doing at age 22, but I know I damn sure wasn't able to dunk over people and do all this shit.
I wasn't leading a fucking 15-5 run against Phoenix twice in one
Yeah,
game. You know what I mean? Like the dude can play. It's crazy how people don't like him. I was like, I get it. Like he's
yeah.
not Luca, but the dude can get buckets.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing. Like we are critiquing him, his efficiency, bro. You need to do better. 100%. He knows that. We know that. Coach knows that. The NBA
But
world
also
knows it.
it's kind of like a moot point at this time because like yesterday, like he shot us to the lead. And I get it. Like there's a lot some games where he misses those shots, but it's like you kind of just have to live with it
Yeah,
because we relied on it yesterday and we made it okay. So you can't be hating on him for what it don't work too.
because there's those games like, and that's I think where coaching comes in. If it's not working and you have the lead, hey, I'm gonna take you out, bro. You're just not hitting it today, and I'm gonna take you out. Not detrimental to the team, but it feels like fans. Oh, look, he's on the bench. He sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Sengun was on the bench last game. Jabari gets put on the bench. Dillon gets put on the bench. Fregan, where's that same energy at? And that's all we're saying is keep the same energy for everybody. It's like,
I like the young bro. Listen, we just got the shit beat out of us by OKC, but for like three quarters and a couple minutes, we played with them, and I swear by what I say. We don't have an SGA, but Houston got better young talent than OKC. I
yeah,
believe that to be true. And don't get me wrong, Chet's fucking good. Either that he's real good or he's got Sengun's number, but like we had a little bit of problems with him.
yeah. Nah, Shed is. I think he's good too for sure. They got two good guys over there. I think we as a team we got the vets and we're like, oh, here we go because we got spoiled in the beginning. We got spoiled. We
Mm-hmm.
forgot that there's a this season was weird.
No, that's what it was, bro. We started the season off amazing, playing defense, making threes, did really well. We was in like third place. At the same time that bullshit was going on, the Texans were over there telling the league, the NFL, what's up. So then our expectations for the Rockets flipped. Like, oh, if these fools over here can do it, then these fools over here can do it. But we were wrong about that one. And not to say
Yeah,
that the Rockets had a bad season, but it's like in comparison to how well the Texans did out of the blue, you can't expect the same.
and I think that's another like spot on right there. People that comment on our stuff will be like, "Oh, the Texans did it. Y'all should be able to do it." It's like, no, the, I get the Bill O'Brien bullshit fiasco, but we watched all these Rockets games. We watched the bullshit on the offseason of veterans crying, the John Walls and Christian Woods of the world, boo-hooing their way out of here. The James Harden fiasco, as we were not wrong because he found his way to the Clippers years on in. But it's like this was a big mess in itself
Yes.
that we had to get out of. You have young guys that needed to develop and didn't get the developing they needed. And all we're saying is, as Rockets fans, chill the hell out, relax.
Mm-hmm.
You're fine. You know what? Hey, if the season ends and we don't make the play-in tournament, we have a hell of a good free agent coming in Steven Adams that next year that's gonna be okay. Here we go. So I ain't tripping on it. I want to see development. That's what I'm looking my eyes on now. Development. If we make the plan, cool. But I want to see Amin, Cam, Shingun, Jalen, Jabari. I want to see how these five guys develop all in these next few games. See how the rotations play, how they play with each other. Because looking at it that way, I see Amin outside of his shooting. Oh my God, this dude's athletic as
Oh,
hell.
I can
Cam,
imagine a second unit with Amin, Tari, and Steven Adams. I don't know where all the points are going to come from, but the other fools ain't going to get shit either. So
that's gonna be
that'd be the perfect lineup for Cam Whitmore. They're like, just go shoot, bro. Just go shoot.
it's your turn, bro. Hey, go out there and get it. Yeah, I think like as Rockets fans, we take a step back. Don't hold everything.
Were you encouraged, discouraged, upset about how Cam and Jalen had the altercations with Bill and Booker? Because I felt like we were giving them that work, and they tried to bully them, and them young dudes were like, not today, bro.
I loved it. I I think that is especially for a young team. You're gonna get tested, especially when you whoop this team twice, and they're a contender team. Okay, it's one of those things. They're like, all right, you're gonna get tested. Let's see what you got, and they held their nuts. They went out there. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
nah, fam, like, and Ime loved it. Even this, Ime was like, that's what the fuck I want to see out there. So I'm cool with it. If that's what you want, Ime, I'm perfect for it. I'm cool with it. I mean, shit, all of them started to get fired up. They seem to have each other's back and everything. To no matter what us fans say, that's all that matters. As long as that locker room got each other, I'm cool with it. Because it looked like Cam was ready to go beat Bradley Bill up after what's all that? Let me out there, coach.
I do believe Cam Whitmore has some anger management issues.
Him and the Devin Booker one, that was funny. Jalen with the didn't flinch one bit with that ball.
And for some reason, don't nobody ever try him in. It's like he just got that look. They just don't. Just did. They just leave him the fuck alone.
They're like, nah, we good.
And there's two of them. He got a twin.
I know. Oh man, Houston Rockets fans, chill, relax, enjoy the rest of the games. We good. We
Damn, this
good. We
season's
got
going by fast, bro.
it. Did, and it is. Houston, if you made it to this point, like, subscribe, drop a comment down below. Other than that, we're out of
Peace.
here. Later.